so now in this video we are going to see how we can create or edit metadata for some PostgreSQL tables. So remember, we have just used the metadata administration project. So in administration, create metadata project. So and then I've opened it, so we saw that there is some tables and views. First, I need some data in my PostgreSQL database. So in the tutorial web page, we are providing a geo package with some OSM data. So I'm going to use it. So I already downloaded it. I'm going to project, open from geo package. I use the geo package file. Then there is a single project in it, so I do OK. So it's just a subset of Corsica, an island in France. So we see that there is some points, some roads, some land use, and some administrative boundaries. I'm going to import this data in a new schema on my database. I'm going to do a new schema. I call it Corsica. That's it. I'm going back to the layers. I'm right-clicking to open like the browser 2, which is convenient. I open Corsica and I just select all my layers and I drag and drop them in my schema. So now all my layers are imported. If I go back to my browser, I do refresh, I see that I have 4 layers. I can select them all, load them. I see that I'm losing the styles mostly, like so what I can do is to go back to my previous layers from the geo package, styles, copy styles, all styles, and then go to the other layer, styles, paste all style categories. So I can do that, and then for properties in my new layer I can go to symbology, style, save as default, and then it's asking me if I want to save it in the data source database, so it's what I will choose. Yeah, okay. So I will do that for all layers quickly. Okay, so I've just saved all styles in my database. So to check that it's working, I'm going to start a new project, go to my browser, select all my layers which are in my PostgreSQL database, and load them. And as we can see, we have all the styles which are coming automatically because the styles are now saved in the database itself. So we can come back to the administration project. So project, open recent, PgMetadata demo. I don't save my project, it's okay. So now we are going to create metadata for these layers. So for one metadata, like for one layer, we can have like one or many links, and we can also have one or many contacts. We can reuse these contacts for many layers, because usually you have like one provider, like OpenStreetMap, or your national geographic data provider in your country, for instance. So I'm going to create one contact. So I go to contact, open attribute table. Then we highly recommend you to use the form view, this one, instead of the table view. When you switch the editing mode, then you add a new feature. So name, I will call it OpenStreetMap. Organization, it's not really an organization like OpenStreetMap. I will put the credit. Organization unit, yeah, like if you are in a big organization, you might have different units providing GIS data. So in this case, there isn't. So then you can remove the editing mode and save. Back to QGIS. Now we can like go to the dataset attribute table. Same, use the form view instead of table view. So toggle editing mode, and then you have you need to add a new feature. Then on the top it's listing you like all schema available. So I choose Corsica, and then I choose admin boundaries. So at the beginning you have different values. So the ID will be generated automatically, unique ID. Title, I can type boundaries. Abstract, it's boundaries in Corsica. Categories, it's boundaries. Themes, we will check that for the next layer. Keywords, you can add like as many as you want, separated by comma. So I can cities. Yeah. Data last update. This is useful if you want to explain like when was the last update of your data. Publication, if you have any date when this data has been published. So I've just downloaded it today. Publication frequency, if you have any license. For OpenStreetMap, it's ODBL. Confidentiality, then we have like rated to special properties. So the special level, it's according to you, if it's like national level, province level, or street level. Let's say for me it's province level. It's up to you to choose like how you want to manage your metadata. Minimum optimal scale, maximum optimal scale. It's special extent. This will be like computed automatically when we will save the layer. Metadata, and last update, this is also read-only. Before going to contacts and links tabs, let's save this metadata. So it will get the ID and the unique ID. So I go on the floppy disk, save edits, and we can see that I have a unique ID. It's also computed like the projection of ID, the geometry type, the feature count, and the special extent. So let's go to the contacts tab. So toggle editing mode, add a new feature, and now select your contact. We have only one. For the dataset, we have only one, and the role is owner. Press OK. Leave editing mode. Be sure that like you often save because it's using relationship in QGIS with a pivot table. So be sure to save first the dataset contact, so it makes the links between your dataset and the contact. Now we can add links. So press the editing mode, add a new feature, name of the resource. It's OpenStreetMap. Type, I would say it's a URL. URL, I will use the one provided. Here, this one. Description, yep. Description, I will put copyrights, OpenStreetMap contributors. It's text HTML. When we don't have any size. The ID dataset is linked to Corsica.admin boundaries. That's in the layer. I press OK and I press save. Now I added one link to my layer. So I can leave editing mode for the links. Contacts as well, editing mode is off, and I can also save my dataset. So now all layers are saved. I can maybe zoom to layer. So I see that I have now one polygon. It's the envelope of my layer. So I can add, go back to, sorry, we'll add a theme first. The theme is categories, but you can choose your own code and labels. So labels for now, this one I will put roads. Sorry. Label I will put roads as well. Description is not compulsory. I press save. I can leave. Now I get back to dataset, open attribute table. I can add a new feature. Here, now I choose Corsica, admin below, I choose roads. Now here it's roads. Abstract, it's roads in Corsica. Categories, I can choose transportation, and now my themes, I see that we have roads. You can set up your own list. And keywords, it's the same. You can choose to fill everything. Now I can leave editing mode, save. And now we see that we have a second polygon coming. That's my road layer. Okay, so now we added two layers in our dataset table, so we can see these two polygons which have been computed automatically. There is some triggers in the PostgreSQL database to compute the feature count, to compute the envelope, to check like the CRS. So in case if your layers are changing, like if you are adding new features in your roads, or if the geometry, like you can go to PgMetadata database, and here you have recompute values in the dataset tables. So it's asking you like your PgMetadata schema. We just want to confirm that you really want to recompute default values, then you press run. So this is like recomputing like the CRS, the polygons and feature count, etc. if your data has changed in the meantime, like you want to force the update. Let's check. So the QGIS project is coming with a few groups. So configuration, these ones are editables, so we can find like contact, dataset contact, which makes a link between dataset and contact. Dataset, which is a polygon layer, as we can see. The link, which are link to a dataset. HTML templates, we are going to open this one. So there is basically like three rows. So if I switch to form view, the main one is so you can customize the HTML layout of your metadata, like when you want to display it. So here we are using like some basic HTML like div, h3, table, and then you can reference the fields that you want to display by using square brackets, percentage, symbols, then title, abstract, categories, themes. There is a special case for links and contacts, because we can have many links and many contacts for a single dataset. So it's a different layout. So here we have like the link one, type label, type, description, URL, contact, the same. And then in the main one, it will automatically like here meta contacts, it starts by meta underscore. The same for the links, meta underscore links. So here it's a special tokens for PgMetadata to loop over every links and every contacts, and to use these templates. So you can update these HTML templates to add like some CSS if you need to change the layout. It will be used in the doc later for the final user. In case if you want to reset, there is another algorithm called reset HTML templates. here. So we also want to check that you really want to reset, because you will lose all updates that you have made before. And then you press run, so it will like reset all default HTML templates in the database. Glossary, it's special tables like showing you all the glossary which is used in the plugin. Theme, we already covered this one. Information, it's some views that might be useful. You have the list of table in your database, so if you open it, you can see that I have schema, Corsica, table, admin boundaries, land use, points, roads, and all of the tables that you have in your database. The same for schema. Valid metadata is like some layers that you have with some metadata, like with everything complete. Orphan tables, table command, sorry. So there is a trigger in PostgreSQL made by the plugin. So there is a trigger, and the trigger will, as I said, compute feature count, the polygon, but it will also update the comment on the PostgreSQL table. This will be used later in the QGIS data source manager. So the comment will follow like the name, abstract, and categories. Orphan tables, orphan metadata, these are views as well. It's warning, so the list should be like close to 0. It's showing you like metadata that you have made in the plugin, but you can't find like either like the layer itself, like schema, and the layer does not exist anymore. Maybe it has been removed, maybe it has been renamed. And the same for like tables. One is the reverse of the other one. Maybe you have metadata field, but with the plugin can't find the layer itself, or maybe you have new you have layers but without metadata. So this is orphan tables. We will see in the next video how we can use PgMetadata for the final user.